Good evening, and how are we all doing? Hope you're keeping well, and welcome to another episode of The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. And as you can see, I've got my two esteemed colleagues with me today. So, how are you gents doing?
Coping.
I'm fine, Tim. I'm fine. I had a busy day today. Looking forward to tonight's show. I do apologise, folks. I mean, I should have done a fuzzy last week because I went on the show last week. I was replaced by Budgie. So, hopefully when Arsenal has Porto Wednesday night in Champions League in 3 weeks, I think I might. I'll definitely come on the show. I can't watch that.
Not again.
Not again.
Yeah, not after that one, that's for sure.
No.
So, yes. Let's just say hello to people in the chat so far. So, what have we got? We've got Old School Gunner, smash the likes, everyone. Big up, Dave. Hope you're keeping well. And evening to Lenny Moon. Big up, brothers. Looking forward to this. So, are we, mate. We're looking forward to this one as well. Big up to the usual suspects. Evening all. And Mama Flossie. Good evening, Mama Flossie. Hope you're keeping well. And our favourite Hammerette, Miss Happy Hammerette. Oi, oi. How we keeping well?
Oi, oi.
Oh, Fuzzy would find all of those as well. So, we're back. West Ham's back. We've finally won our first game of 2024. We're back in the big time now. Ready to go.
You got any party poppers or balloons?
Where they go.
Oh,
you got any party poppers and balloons? No.
Yeah, I can't afford them, mate. Not in the budget. You know, the budget only stretches so far. You know that.
You got blow up.
I don't want to hear about your blow ups, Fuzzy.
So yes,
blow ups can only mean good things.
So as you can see, we had a little swap around, didn't we? So Fuzzy's gone on to the ugly.
Oh well, it's
about time.
It's about time.
About time I get some haters.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that kind of thing, obviously, the weekend, Fuzzy, it wasn't good, was it?
Nope. No, not in the slightest.
But you got a bit of it on your skin, mate.
No, that's just failed beard growth. That is.
Oh right, okay.
You know, some people like to call it bum fluff. You know, that sort of awkward type of beard for younger people. I know, try to grow it out, but it just looks horrendous. Instead of actually making somebody look more manly, I guess. But yeah, things
That's
going a bit south, to be fair.
That's what it looks like. You see that? Do you remember that film? Is it V is for Vendetta? You know,
V
the
for
mask.
Vendetta.
And he's got the moustache and he's got the thing down. There it is. There.
Yeah, but Fuzzy's got his long way round. It needs to be the other way round. That part. It comes in.
Yeah.
Everyone can do that next time. Just sort of shave around the edges, but just leave the strip there. But yeah, man. Since Saturday, it's all gone a bit tits up. At Man United, everyone's throwing their toys out the pram. You've got players that are angry about having to train on a Sunday instead of getting the day off because, you know, precious, pampered little bastards that they are. They throw their toys out the pram. No, it's not fair. We have to train on Saturday, on the Sundays. It's like, well, it's not because you lost. You're always scheduled to train on the Sunday. So why are you complaining?
Yeah.
You probably knew about it for weeks in advance, but apparently you're now sad and disappointed about it. But hey, you got to train as much as you can when you've got a midweek game on the Wednesday after playing on the Saturday. So, you know, and you got to take as much time as possible to get your training in after putting in that woeful performance on the Saturday, letting Fulham beat you for the first time since 2009, I think it was. And I don't know if they've actually beaten us at Old Trafford before the Prem. Can't remember. But yeah, it's many net negatives from that day, and it's sort of spilling over into the week. And now that we're in the midst of playing a game at the moment, 0-0 at half time against Forest, which is, could say it's by some miracle that we've not conceded about 500 goals already, because Jamie Carragher believes that that's going to be the case with our amazingly unique defending. That's seems to be causing more head scratches than anything else. But yeah, aside from that, it's still eyes on Ineos and thinking, okay, well, you've seen some good, some positive. You've seen the massive tidal wave of negatives. Now, what you gonna do? Now, what do you make of that? A lot of people saying sack the manager. Other people saying don't sack the manager. I can get both sides of the argument. One, it's a results business. You should probably, if you're losing embarrassing results and then putting yourselves in precarious positions in the table, that warrants being sacked for starters. But then you look at the way that the squad's been for the longest time across 10 years, you think, well, the biggest promise we've actually got of change probably comes in the form of selling as many of those players as possible. And do you get that if you sack the manager? Or will the new guy come in and say, actually, I like these players, I want to keep them? And then that person then wants to clear out, but he doesn't get that clear out because then he has to be sacked because performances aren't going too well. And then the next guy comes in and says, oh, yeah, I like those players. You see, it kind of goes round and round and round, and there's not really a breakage to that cycle, rather than a manager staying put in the trenches and figuring out everything else around him. Because even if you fix the whole squad and the manager still doesn't get better results, at least then the new manager comes in, it's not the same old toxic players that have sacked that many managers before him.
Mm.
We're in that conundrum where it's like, well, what's better for this club? Stick with a manager and honour him a clear out and see what he does with a different team, or sack the manager and hope that there's some form of a reboot, which, knowing Manchester United, there'll probably be a lot of people saying, oh, don't worry, sack a manager. There's your money. There's your summer spent done and dusted with the managerial replacement. Don't worry about players. These guys are good. Best of the best. I mean, Jadon Sancho, amazing 6 out of 10s and 5 out of 10 performances on loan at Dortmund. Amazing. Gets subbed off in 60th, 70th minute because all of his work is done. All his work. Marcus Rashford, fake club, going out on midnight benders in Belfast when he should be training about 5 hours later. You see that examples setting the standards. They're absolute exceptional athletes, I'll tell you, and brilliant role models. We should all be so happy and so proud of them. So yeah, that's pretty much my Saturday to today summed up.
I thought I can tell you've got that. Is that the second chocolate drink you drunk today, or?
No, it's my first. I practically finished an entire packet of bourbons across today.
Oh, I can tell. Listen, this man's distraught. This man up here, he is distraught. I can tell in his face. I could tell the way he's drinking his chocolate milk, how he's eating his chocolate bourbons. But I tell you what, Buzz, I'm going to enlighten you on this one. I've got some interesting facts here, right?
Not about Scott McTominay, are they?
Buzzy went live after the Fulham game. Buzzy went live after the Fulham game. It was I got it written down here. It was 2 minutes and 26 seconds. I couldn't believe my eyes. I say my eyes. I couldn't believe my ears, but I hear. So 2 minutes and 26 on 2 minutes and 26 seconds of your show, I got here. Fuzzy said, "Fuck." Right. 20 seconds after that, you said another F word. So I was tallying all of your F words, and you said 15 F words in that show. You was on earlier with Yeti about the review of the United game and all that, and Forest game tonight. And you know what? You said 5 Fs. I'm I'm proud of you, Fuzzy. I seriously, I am. I am so
Making
proud
progress here.
of you. Yeah, I'm making progress. Hey,
The
it's
therapy's
taking
going well.
That's right.
The therapy's going well, you know. My therapist should get a pay rise for that. There's progress.
I think you should. I think you should. You knock up. Yeah, you give your account details over to Tim. Yeah, send you some money through. All right.
Exactly
Only
that.
on this show. Only on this show.
Exactly. I mean, as Mama Flossie says here, you know, she says, look, Anthony looks like he has a halo.
That's just his
Well,
eyebrows.
that's the light. That's the light. It is.
Yeah, the light above it, that
There's my
shines in the right.
eyebrows to prove
Yeah.
I have eyebrows. There we go. There we go. They're nice eyebrows. Nice eyebrows. Yeah.
Did you use shoe polish to darken them up a little bit, kind of thing? They look a bit better than last week, that's for sure. Oh no, you wasn't on last week. Still a lie. That's what it
I
was.
weren't on last week. No. This is fucking right. You know what? They're energy saving bulbs, and they're 11 watts, and the 11 watts are equivalent to, I think they're equivalent to the old 100 watts, the old light bulb. But I tell you what, it's so bloody bright. No matter where I position myself in my living room, the lights everywhere. It's literally that. Mama Frost is right, absolutely right.
Exactly. I mean, Happy Hammer, it says Bourbon's shortbread all day long. You've got to change, Fuzzy.
Well, I've got Marylands after my bourbons are done.
He's moving his way through.
Going through the motions.
Big up AFC always. Tony Hotfuzz, Anthony, big up.
Big up, mate.
You, man.
I was laughing
I
at
like
old,
the arm emoji. Everybody
Yeah,
seems to be putting that in now with me. They go big up Anthony and they put the arm muscle emoji. Yeah.
Even a game killer, eyebrow trimmer.
Oh.
That's the bit. That's the bit highlighters. He's drawn them on before he goes live.
Exactly.
For every show, he sits in the makeup chair.
Yeah.
Where's Godfather Jess Collins? So on this one, Game Killer, it's only us three. Normally you'll find Jess comes on with us on the Sunday show. Other than that, it's me, Anthony, and Fuzzy and that. But welcome on board anyway. It's good to have you on here. It's good to see you in here anyway. I mean, obviously, Fuzz, what did you think about Jamie Carragher's comments about Ten Hag and Ten Hag obviously kind of actually biting and taking the bait?
Wow. I mean, it's not the first time he's gone after him, is it?
No.
They have that sit-down interview with him and Gary Neville at Carrington, and they're like asking the pressing questions and stuff, and it's just like people just. I think it's a case where it's like they know that they'll add fuel to the fire when they'll say certain things or ask certain questions, and as much media coverage and milking the situation as you can. I think we all know the situation's not great, but it's like just the pile on in general. It's just typical pile on. But from rivals you expect it. Funnily enough, the amount of United lot that will pile in on them as well. But it's funny because half of them were saying that it's all to do with these players, and these players are a massive problem. Now they can't wait to see these players play for another manager. So swings and roundabouts with them. But to be honest, Jamie Carragher, I mean, there's a lot of people out there, regardless of whether you support Man United or just other clubs in general, that they always think, things that Jamie Carragher says, or Gary Neville, pundits, Rio Ferdinand, all different kinds of pundits say it's bollocks. It's a load of bollocks. It's much like not much like, I mean, because some of those opinions are really stupid, like the Gabby Bonhor's like talk shite. It shows like that. I mean, what they say is just there to bait people. It's just there to farm interactions, to get people talking about the subject. And to be honest, I didn't actually watch what exactly he said, but it's based off of what everybody else has said about his assessments of Ten Hag, his defending, his system, his play styles, and different things like that. To me, And as far as Ten Hag responding to it, some managers take the bait, some managers don't.
No, exactly.
For example, nothing really football related. It's a bit like when what was it, Pep's favourite actress came to Manchester, and somebody brought it up as a question, and he was just like, "Yeah, I can't believe that. I'm really livid with that." It's just favourite actress, and she goes to the red side of Manchester. Cannot believe it. I hate this club. I hate Manchester City. I hope they get relegated. The bloody scum. They've 115 charges. Yeah, no, I didn't say that, but you get the gist of it, basically.
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, as Game Killers alluded to here, Ten Hag is dead man walking. I mean, would you agree with that? I mean, obviously, like, you know.
Well, I mean, depends on where he sits in the viewpoints of Ineos and Sir Ratcliffe. If he's on borrowed time, or if there is a clearer image at play that if he can get to a certain end point by the end of the season as a minimum target, that they'll have the patience to stick with him. But if he does seriously fall off the face of a cliff, then obviously you have to pull the plug on it, because by that point you could say that it's a bit like damage limitation, trying to get people back on side before things go too far gone. And otherwise, if it gets too far gone, then they might look at the situation and say, well, now we've got to replace probably about 20 players, as opposed to, a fair few from the first team. I mean, already conversations about sell 10 or 11.
Yes,
so
I saw that.
That's a start. Get rid of 10 or 11. But what about the other players coming in? And by all means, link us to whoever out there as a viable target. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
We still don't have a director of football, so none of those conversations or reports matter until we have a director of football.
Interesting. Liverpool's gone one up holding the usual suspect, and it seems to be a 17-year-old kid by the looks of it. Yeah. Question for you as well, Fuzzy, from Daniel E. Big up, Dan. Hope you're keeping well. So, United fan, what do you think do you need to do fix first? Your dump of a stadium or your pathetic squad?
To be honest, probably pathetic squad. I mean, the stadium should follow closely after, but I mean, even with there not being a stadium, if there's just a football pitch, what's better? A functional squad on a football pitch, regardless of its quality, or a dysfunctional team that can't do anything to save its life? I think I prefer a working team as opposed to a dead team, because then it's irrelevant whether you've got a stadium or not, to be fair.
I mean, look at that. I mean, Kumas for Liverpool, he's the one who scored. 17-year-old kid, apparently. So it just shows you.
Ben Clark as well, I think, assisted with it.
Should be good.
What was it? Ben Clark?
We did, Scotty. So if United and Chelsea get beaten tonight, do they both get sacked? What do you think on that, Anthony? Do you think both managers deserve to be sacked?
Yeah, well, the way things are going, you would imagine so. But in all fairness, I can't see Ten Hag getting sacked. If anything, I think what most probably will be, there is a second goal scored in that Chelsea game. It's pinged up on my phone, so I don't know what that score is. Were they 1-0 down, Chelsea, or 1-0 up?
They were 1-0 down.
1-0 down.
1-1,
right, so I think there's
2-1, and that's 2-2.
It's 2-2. Oh, right, okay. So I
just
quickly, yeah. So, in all fairness, I think it'd be Poch going before Ten Hag. If I'm honest with you, Tim. I still don't think, with all the players that Chelsea's got and how much they cost these players, I still don't think Poch knows his first 11. Seriously, I don't, because he can't. No matter who he plays in that team, formation, style, there's nothing there. It's sadly lacking something. I don't know if it's consistency, a balance, or anything. But I got to be honest with you, the only player that performs in that Chelsea team when I see him live on the telly is that young guy Palmer they bought off Man City. Yeah. I think he's brilliant, and that's the only player I like from that Chelsea squad.
No, I agree on that.
I think when they lost the cup final, I don't know if you actually seen it, but when Chelsea players were actually going up to get their runners-up medals, a Liverpool fan was recording, and he said, he said something to Enzo. It was like, what was it? Oh, big up Enzo, unlucky mate, or something like. Because obviously they lost the game.
Yeah,
And then, as he turned around, he went like that, and the player, I think maybe Gallagher or something like that, grabbed him and went, "No, let's go up the stairs. Let's go up the steps."
I'll tell you what. I know how Poch is on borrowed time. I don't know if you've also seen the video where Poch is walking across to go shake hands with several people, and he completely just blanks Todd Bowley. Todd's just sat there, just like, "Oh, I'm going to shake my hand," and he's literally just like, "No,
Yeah,
no, I'm going to shake everybody else's hand, not yours."
not good. Yeah, so I think I said this before. When you think about it, I mean, in certain respects, I mean, if it was Poch or anyone else, because it's not exactly his team, is it? It's Todd Bowley's team. He's the one who bought all these players.
Well, actually, sorry to cut you off. Based off of what Chelsea fans are saying, it's not actually Todd Bowley himself. It's I think it's Daniel Egbarley or Clear Lake. It's those lot there that are instigating the decisions and signing off for everything. He's probably involved in conversations, but in terms of actually doing the groundwork for what this Chelsea team is right now, he's primarily fueled by them. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of Chelsea fans that are now sort of picking out names from that board level and saying, "Yeah, no, you absolute scumbag." So yeah, it's just a generic meltdown. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I just think it's wrong tone. I totally disagree with it all. I mean, it just seems like no matter who's the manager, if let's say if Poch gets sacked and he brings somebody else in, it seems like this manager, if they do bring in, hasn't got a say in what players he wants.
Yeah.
He's the only one that can read the team and pick the players, the best players who he feels in what position of what areas of the pitch as well. So surely there's got to be some communication. If there's no communication between the manager, then what Chelsea manager is going to do anything
Exactly.
in that team? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pointless.
Because when you think at the beginning, I do believe that Bowley was down in the changing rooms giving his piece. As soon as you got that, you know, a relationship, you know, between manager and the chairman is just not going to work.
No,
that's craziness. I asked my flipping Kim Kardashian at the ground. Eddie was twerking for her. Most I've seen him move. But you know, Rashford will be going to PSG as Mbappe replacement, and Bruno will be going to Real Madrid.
The second one, no. First one, most probably, yeah.
That'd be an interesting one. You still do so. Two as you mentioned. Evening, Arsenal Manic. I'll be keeping well, mate. Good to see you in here. As he says, neither deserve to be sacked. May they be offered extensions. That's if you're a Gooner fan, of course.
Yes. Well, I don't know about that. We've got to win the league first. We're not going to win the Champions League. Anything after the round 16 quarterfinals or anything is a bonus to me. But Arteta's got to win the league. If not,
yeah,
bye.
It's true, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you're saying Chelsea's all over the place. Leeds are pressing. So it just shows you. I mean, Leeds look very good contenders to come up for this season. There's no two ways about it.
Well, all the Premier clubs that were in the league last season have all figured the championship out by the looks of it, and propped themselves back at the top of the table. And by the looks of it, the championship clubs from last season, all the ones that occupy the bottom three. So it's just going to be back same old as last season.
Good old swings and roundabouts, as they say. Top Gunner's attachment to Mudryk is so weird, such a zesty van pace we have.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we didn't get him. I'm in all fairness, I was glad we got Trossard in the end.
Yeah, you got the better deal and the cheaper deal as well, didn't you? Really, when you think about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Agreeing with you, mate. You know, Palmer gives it all. Same as Happy Hammer, actually saying exactly the same. Almost 2-1 Forster Origi.
2-1. Might be 2-1 if this is still 0-0. How have we jumped to 2-1? Is he living in the future?
Maybe if that's the case, then we'll have his numbers
living in the future
for the lottery. Mate, that's for sure.
Yeah, place your bets on the lottery, might win.
Top Goonies think Arteta will get a tune out of Mudryk. Dear, man.
Nah, definitely not.
he must be chuffed. Forest bossing the second half. Well, they were bossing the first half as well in certain respects.
Mm. They
Yeah,
were.
I mean,
The chances, I'd say, yeah. I think, I'll tell you what, we're away from home. We're actually keeping possession better. And I think it's probably because we're doing that inverted thing with Amrabat playing at left back. So we've got an extra midfielder.
It's true. Interesting question here from Happy Amaret. Question for you is, who wants Moyes? Well, by all accounts, and that he's supposed to be offered a new contract. Yeah. yeah. There's a straight answer straight away. But yeah, apparently he's been offered a contract extension.
There was one time that I would have took David Moyes, and that was just before Arsene Wenger left. Because I thought Moyes, when he was at Everton then, and that in all fairness, I think he couldn't do anything more with Everton than what he already done. So then I would have took Moyes because I thought I think he's a good technicianist. Do you know what I mean? He's good at bringing the best out of players and that. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be at Manchester United. West Ham first time, he wasn't no good. I think he went to Sunderland after that, if I'm not mistaken, when they were in the Prem, Moisey.
Yeah.
And obviously didn't do no good, but he's done. In all fairness, he's done a good job for West Ham. And I'll tell you something, Tim. If I was a West Ham fan, I think I'll be in on the Moisey in because of what he's won you European trophy at the end of the day. And where are you two now in the league? Are you
back up to 8th now? I think 8th.
Back up to 8th. There you go, and you're still going strong in Europe as well. So I just think give the man a chance. Do you know what I mean?
I can understand. I mean, I'm just going to go back onto the Man United situation when he went there. For me, your biggest sin, and I've mentioned this before, that you don't do, is get rid of all your knowledge. And by him coming in, and don't get me wrong, a new manager, you want to set your stall out, bring your team in, but with all your experience and all your knowledge, and you basically fire all of those guys, and you come in with a fresh. It's like it's not Preston North End, it's not Everton. You're talking about at the time one of the biggest clubs in Europe, if not the world, in Man United, and you do a thing like that. It's one of those, and the problem is, yes, I mean. Golden and Sullivan, when they first took over the club, the first thing they wanted to do was have a statement. So Moyes did his little bit. They got a shot of him and then brought in Pellegrini, and that was dire. So because of that, I didn't renew my season ticket watching that dross. And of course, they brought him back in. And he's won us, the European Conference. The biggest problem for me is the fact of sometimes he doesn't adjust. So when we looked, I think we played the Brighton game, we sat back too much. We allowed Brighton to attack us, and it was only because of Areola that kind of kept the scoreline down. Otherwise, we could have lost that easily, 3 or 4-0. But other than that, I think what we're looking for is just a little bit more. Yes, like I said, we turned up on Monday. I mean, I don't know in that because unfortunately I got back from work, had something to eat. And I fell asleep all the way through the game. I didn't wake up till about 11 o'clock, and suddenly thought, "Where's the game?" Oh shit! I was too late. I've missed it completely, believe it or not. But I can understand why West Ham fans want him out, basically. But I mean that's my opinion of it anyway. Of course, Fuzzy's straight away with his bit there. What's it? No, Anthony, I didn't mean Arteta should be offered an extension. I was on about Ten Hag and Poch.
Oh right, yeah. I mean,
and then also needs adjustment.
Sorry, why not? Yeah. Leave them in there. Leave them both in there. They're doing well this season. I don't know what Fuzzy's on about. Fuzzy, you're going too harsh on the man. Let him do this and that. Let him come and play, score your goals. Hoyland scoring goals as well. McTominay's at second. Your top goal scorer. Well, your second top goal scorer. Got to lay off it, especially McTominay. He deserves to be in that team, definitely.
Mate, he's played so far this game. He has played like absolute dross.
Yeah, it's true.
Woeful this game.
Arsenal Manic's come back to. He's back in reality now. He's realised it's 1-0 for us. I must be drunk. He's gone. And more chance of getting a tune out of a broken harmonica. Obviously, that's a reference to Arteta. Early doors. Congrats on West Ham's victory. By the way, you look 10 years younger. No, that's filters. That's all that is. That's filters.
That's just polish.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's more than
Exactly.
filters. He'd be in the ugly next week. I'll tell you.
Yeah, back to that again. Happy Hammer says, I'm sorry, but if you went and watched us every week, you'd not be saying Moyes is what you want. Yeah, I get that. Absolutely. Rashford wanted the pen. Big up, Dave. All right, lads.
Dave.
Look at the arms on the Herbert.
Oh, sorry.
That's one of them wide angle lenses, isn't it, Anthony?
Sorry?
That's one of them wide angle lenses. It makes your arms look big.
Yeah, fish eye.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I got a suit on. You know, it pumps all this out. You know, and all that. You know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one from Game Killer. Real Madrid and PSG wants either Bruno Guimaraes or Bruno Fernandes. Luka Modric is retirement at end of season. PSG also interested in both midfielders. Interesting.
I think they're two different. I mean, Bruno is more of a DM, and Bruno Fernandes is more the player that plays just in behind the striker. Bruno Fernandes. So obviously, with me, I think that's two different positions. But I know which one I would rather go for. I'd rather go for the one that plays with Newcastle for the DM, because Modric is more of a Luka Modric was more of a DM, but he was sort of like that little bit of box to box player, you know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think that Newcastle want to be better.
I just think Bruno would get chewed up by the Madristas,
Yes.
the ultras. He won't last. He wouldn't last.
No.
Literally, first game where he plays off.
No, exactly.
Curtains.
Away the lads. And I just seen that. Yeah, Rashford looks injured. It looks like he took a knock just a minute ago. So not looking too good for him.
Well, he's continued playing apparently. I mean, I can't tell with my stream because it's playing in Microsoft PowerPoint.
Okay.
I'm just watching it in slides at this point. It's not even playing properly.
No. Yeah, I mean, Fernandes just had a go in there and completely skied it over the bar.
Typical.
So, Buddy, my question to you is: if you win this one, and in the other game, it looks like you might be having Liverpool in the next round, right? So, all I'm going to say is I just in brief sort of thing. If you beat Forest tonight, and obviously Liverpool win, you've got each other in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. How do you feel that would go? Obviously, you would like to get one up on Liverpool, obviously, but you know, do you feel that you've got the team and that to do it? Because I noticed with Man United now, they seem to be playing sort of better against the top teams, and the teams that's like 10th and down, you know, that mid-table, they're sort of struggling. I mean, look at the Fulham game, for instance. You know, that was quite bad. But do you feel that you might do something within this FA Cup?
I mean, as far as oh my god, I've just seen the stat there: touches in opposition's box. Bloody hell! Four of the top five are Forest players, and McTominay is the fifth player. That's mental. But as far as what we do in the FA Cup, I mean, I suppose it's down to the players, because if we play against a bigger team, they think it's a bigger occasion, so they're more up for it. You get a smaller opponent, you think, I can play in third gear, I can play in second gear here. I don't have to, run so hard or run so fast at all. Just maybe let a few 50-50s go. Whereas it gets a big team, you're trying everything. You're trying to win every second ball, trying to actually put your stamp of authority on the game. But you know, these players, they've not consistently done that for many years. So I mean, whether we do go deep in the competition, we just have to wait and see. I mean, probably won't go further than tonight, to be honest. I don't see. I mean, maybe we get a jammy one goal to win it, but then it's like, well, Liverpool up next. do you turn up for that game? It's at home, but still, do you turn up for it? What do those players do?
That's
Can't
the truth,
trust them.
Hmm.
I mean, Arsenal Max saying to you, do you think Rashford will be a hit for PSG? You can see him up in his level the first season to impress the new team and locals, which obviously most players tend to do.
Yeah, I think he will. Like, 'cause I mean, the
Yeah.
French league is not good as how it used to be years ago.
No,
I mean,
no.
if anything, I feel it's deteriorated a little bit, and I think if Rashford was to go there, I think he will be. I think he'll hit high over there. If I'm honest.
No, definitely.
I think over there, it's you can be a bit more of that superstar, but those the fans in that country, they will cuss you out, and I think he knows. He would know that he has to deliver on a pitch more so for that club than he can do for Man United, because everyone's so many people so sentimental about him being a Manc born and bred, academy graduate. They're all in their feelings when their beloved Marcus Rashford gets criticised. So it seems like the most realistic club that he can go to, and I think just in the case that he looks like he's just mentally checked out from Manchester United, I think it's high time that he changes his scenery, goes somewhere else, and I'm not prepared to rebuild any bridges with trusting or supporting Rashford. I think he's mentally checked out from this club, so he's just living on borrowed time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Arsenal, man, saying obviously, second season it'll be serving croissants to French school kids. First season it'll be reported missing for training, spotted in Milan. And Game Killer saying obviously Liverpool play City on the March the 10th, and then they play United on March the 17th. So 2 good games there.
Or Forest.
Oh yes, very true, very true.
Yeah, there's a few good games coming up, and I mean, depending on them two, the City and Liverpool game. I mean, if you're an Arsenal fan, the only thing you can wish for is a draw. You can't wish for one to win, so it's got to be a draw. So, in all fairness, but it's like what I was saying, Jez was touching on it on his stream earlier, and I totally agree with it. It's horrible when you've got to rely on other teams to help you to, for them to put it in your favour. And sometimes you haven't got to be like that. You just got to, play what's in front of you, and then what happens is what happens. But I mean, depends on what happens in that game, the Liverpool Man City game. Does it give Arsenal an incentive? Of course it does, because you got to think out of those three, the first one that loses their game, their Premier League game, people are going to say, "Oh right, that's it. They're out of it now."
Yeah.
But I think all three teams, to be honest with you, Tim, I think are going to gradually drop a point here, 2 points there, So it's all to play for, really. But I just hope that we can do something. I mean, I don't think, it's like what I said, I don't think we're going to win this Champions League. If we finish second again, that's no, there's no point. It was a pointless season, because the amount of money that we spent this season, 200 million plus, and to finish the same,
it's not progress, is it?
Nothing. It's not progress. So that's the. But trouble is, though, our owners, the Cronkies, I don't think they look at it that way, personally. So I think he's going to be here next season, and it won't surprise me. He spends 250 million quid. That's his first £1 billion he spent ever at the club. And if he don't win nothing that season, surely somebody's got to be asking questions.
Well, you like to think so, wouldn't you? I mean, as you said, for that kind of type of money, you expect to see positive results. And then it's just, for me, it's a fact of, and I've alluded to it the last couple of weeks, what you guys have got to be is consistent. If you want to keep in with the mix, you've got to be consistent week in, week out.
Yeah.
When you beat Liverpool and how you celebrated after that game, it's a case of, well, that's fair enough, but it comes the next game, and of course, you put us to rights with the the goals you scored, and it came down to the same thing. You've got to make sure the next game you be consistent, and obviously the Porto game, you ended up like us. You completely disappeared off the face of the earth, and they got their goal, which they deserved. But then you came back And Newcastle were nowhere to be found again.
No.
But the problem is when you've got City and you've got Liverpool still winning, as you said, you've just got to keep on winning your games, and hopefully someone's going to slip up. But the problem is, it's more likely going to be you guys.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it will be, and I can't see us win it. I want to win it. You know, I really want to win the Premier League, but I can't see it happening. I just can't. There's always that doubt in your back of your head, and when it goes towards the end of the season, you always say, "Typical Arsenal." I mean, I've always said it for years. Typical. I mean, when we missed out on the Premier League when Leicester City won it, you know, it was like,
Yeah.
oh, no, that's typical. And then last season, typical. But you know, it was the teams lower down, and this is what I say. Sometimes people always say it's a walk in the park. I personally think now in the Premier League, I don't think there's no such thing as an easy game now, team.
No,
Seriously,
no.
I don't. And you know, I mean, people were talking about Luton, this and that. I quite like Luton. I think they're a good team, and it's like what I said. Even if they do lose, you can tell by watching them, they don't go down without a fight. And I keep saying it, and this is why I think they got the mentality there in that Luton team to survive. I think it'd be Sheffield United, Burnley. Out of the other two teams, I think it's either out of Nottingham Forest or Crystal Palace for me.
Yeah, because I mean, when you look at it, as you said, it's the lower leagues, and I think for me, what was good about the summer transfer window that everyone bought.
Yeah.
You know, and they bought well. I mean, obviously, you know, we did for sure. I mean, the funny part about it, if you look at it again, for all the money that Arteta spent, you've not exactly bought well, have you, really? Again, I mean, like, you know, I'm just going to go on to, I mean, obviously, I like that comment. Amrabat sounds like an Aldi 50p toilet product. But he's also comes out with this. I mean, Anthony, you know, why should we give Arteta another £200 million to spend in the summer if he doesn't deliver this season? He has to go. And I think you've already alluded to this.
Yeah, I alluded to that, and I don't think he should, because it's just like no matter what Mikel Arteta does, it's like he's been backed by the Cronkies. Let's just get that out there. It's like they're just throwing in the money, and I think it's Edu and him that's obviously what the players in because they're communicating with one another, and they're bringing the players in, and we're not winning anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you touch on an example, Arsenal. We're one of the biggest teams in the Premier League. You've got Arsenal, you've got Man United, and Liverpool. They're the main three teams with history, right?
I agree.
Won the most trophies. Now, that's good in one way, but you compare them three. Look at Arsenal in Europe. We can sort of do it like in the Premier League, but we can't do it when it in European competitions. And Arsenal has always suffered in European competitions. I was on a show last night with Jez and on his show, and he brought it all up. And I think the last 10 games that we was in the Champions League, we've only got to rank 16. The last 10, it was round 16, and then it was like we were losing all to the Bayern Munich, the PSGs, AC Milans. You know, we couldn't beat them. And obviously, we got to that final against Barcelona, and as you know, we lost it, which I personally think we were robbed. But you know, that's the way it goes.
Was the ball over the line?
The referee was over the line.
I think it was. It was definitely over the line. Yeah.
But this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's all right spending money. I mean, if you've got to think of the money you spent. Obviously, the summertime, the majority of that was obviously on Rice.
Yeah.
And we know, obviously, you know, where the other half of the money went. And, all right, he found his form recently. But, again, have you noticed the last couple of games, the tap strike turned off? He had little spurs with little goals, haven't he? And then there's nothing since.
Yeah. I mean, he's been playing... I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of Kai Havertz, as you know. But... since he's been playing up front, and when you're watching the games, not only are we winning and we're scoring goals, okay, he scored in the last game, Kai Havertz. But I've noticed with him hanging around in that 18-yard box, he's causing a problem there because he's splitting up defence. The defence is widened, and when we see those gaps, that's where we're getting those goals from. We're exploiting those gaps. So if him doing that, I mean, I know I like a striker that scores. Don't get me wrong. I like a 20-goal season striker, but obviously with Havertz being up front now, I'll tell you the truth now, Tim. There's Arsenal fans saying, leave Jesus on the back, play Havertz up front, don't fix what's broken in a minute, right? And just leave it and see how that goes. But he's doing a job in there, which is causing problems around that 18-yard box, which obviously is like what I said, we're exploiting all these gaps. And I mean, you notice now, Odegaard is coming into position. He's coming up more now, you know, and taking shots on goal. Declan Rice is doing box to box, and he's taking shots on goal now.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? I think it's that they've got the right balance in that free midfield with Rice, Odegaard, and at the minute, Jorginho.
Yeah.
There's talks now. Partey's back. I don't want him in the team. He shouldn't be. He's been out pretty much. He played, 2 games this season? And that's it?
Yeah.
So what's the point of... I mean, knowing Thomas Partey... Well, knowing Mikel Arteta, I should say. I bet you get Thomas Partey and you pick him in the next game. And he's like, well, why change it? You know, he hasn't featured this season, pretty much, you might as well say. And he shouldn't have a right to walk in the team. The only right he's got in that Arsenal team is to sit on the bench and come on like in the last 20 minutes if we're like 2 or 3-0 up. That's the only reason I'll bring Thomas Partey onto the game. Yeah. Apart from that, I won't even select him in the team.
No, of course. I mean, for me, I'm obviously, as you know, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but for me, I can't see Partey ever playing for you again.
No, I can't tell. I think this will be his last season. I think he'll be gone.
I think I think he's going to be out.
I think we know that there was all this talks. He was injured, and you know, oh, he's back, and you know, and suddenly he got injured and all this and that. But you know, there was all this talks going back. What happened? I'm not going to say it and get into that. But
we already know, don't we?
You know that I feel that they've taken him. Obviously, they've taken him out the limelight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then just left it at that, basically.
No, exactly. I mean, obviously, you said about having a goal scorer. I mean, Game Killer's nailed it on the head here, really. Terminator Haaland looking in fantastic form for United's humiliation on Sunday, scoring 5 goals last night. And when you think about it, very much kind of goal shy, and then
I think we jinxed it. Me and Jez, we were chatting on the show last night, and we were talking about. Funny enough, we were talking about Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne, and I said, since they've come back from injury, I said they haven't been that bloody great, have they? So anyway, we're talking about this on the show. The show finishes. Haaland scored 5 goals. De Bruyne assisted 4 goals out of those 5, and I'm like, shit, we just jinxed that.
That's basically what me and Yassi were doing for both our teams for this. The preview for this game was just talking and like smack talking both of our own players and teams and managers and everything, just so for the sake of reverse psychology. I end up actually doing some bits on the pitch, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not worked out thus far. Not yet.
No, exactly. No, not at all. It's going here. I mean, AFC always is asking you, who would win out of you and Kenny King in an arm wrestling contest?
Kenny Ken. I'll win in the quiz. You win
in the quiz.
I'll win in the quiz. Kenny will win in the arm wrestle.
You see that, Fuzzy? Anthony being modest, as always. Always being modest. Would you take Højlund at Arsenal? Do you rate him?
No, I wouldn't take Højlund at Arsenal. I know he's young, and it's his first season in the Premier League, but I feel he's got I feel that he's got a lot more to offer. But for me, he's not just quite there yet. But he's learning that, and he will get better. He will be a good striker. It won't surprise me if somebody snaps him up from Man United. At the minute, you've got to be talking. I think you'd have to talk about the £125 million mark.
Yeah. So I was just watching the game there. Who was that there? Is it Adoy? Touch of a rapist, basically.
Oh, God.
Dear me. I mean, I agree with this one. I would not rush Timber back. I mean, not being funny and that, if anything, can,
No.
you know.
No, I wouldn't. No, I would have him on the bench. And it's like what I said with the Sims Thomas party. Give him 20 minutes because I know it's the left back position that we've got, we're quite weak in. But Kivior's doing a job there at the minute. And he doesn't run forward. You know, he doesn't overlap Martinelli or anything across the ball. But he's just there. It's like a centre back. Obviously, he is a centre back playing at left back, but he's doing like a centre back's job at left back, if you know what I mean. He just stays back. He gets on. He gets stuck in with the tackles, passes the ball. You know, he's not. What I like about it though, so even though I don't think he's not the answer there for left back. He doesn't go inverted, and that's the reason why I think that's the key why we're winning these games so much, because with him at left back playing, we haven't been playing that inverted system. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen actually an improvement in Kivio, I must admit.
Yeah.
So that's something itself. So yeah, if you stick with that, then yeah, I mean, because I think like Odegaard's also be given more of a license to do something now because you've seen an improvement in him as well. So it's all that Dubai trip has paid off well. Then really,
it has, Tim. I didn't agree with it, but
it seems
but
to have done wonders.
what do I know?
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
Arteta having another man's meat seems to have fixed a few things in his head.
But have you noticed we've only been started winning these games since Tony put these fucking eyebrows on my face on the thing? Just leave them there, Tony, for the time being. I hate them.
Do you want to make my eyebrows like twice the thickness, or just like doorsteps worth?
Blimey, Fuzz!
Sized eyebrows.
You'd be lucky to get mid-table. Jeez.
Well, if that's the case, then I might as do mine as a comb over all the way over my head.
Fucking hell, you get in the top four.
So Chelsea won the game 3-2 by the looks of it. Wow.
Yeah,
well, they're 3-2 at the moment. Timber did look good in the Community Shield, and then the 45 minutes in the first game of the season. But truly, we don't really know how good he is. I think he's a good player. I mean, it was just unfortunate, and you don't wish on any player to get that injury like he did. But at least, I mean, I suppose if you look at this day and age, because sportsmen is so good that you can get the player back. But usually, when you look at an injury like that back in the day, that was the player finished.
I think with him when he comes in next season, when next season starts, Tane, because he hasn't really played. It's been like Party. He's played maybe 1.5 games for us this season. So having him back and playing him next season, it'd be like a new signing over again. But I feel you're going to see him at left back next season. Timber. I do feel. And then you got to think Kieran Tierney's back from loan. I don't know what's going to happen there. I hope he doesn't go. I hope he doesn't, because I really like Kieran Tierney. He gives it 100% for me. Obviously left back and down that flank, he gets back nice, good tackles, well-timed runs. To me, and in all fairness, I think he's captain material, and he is no angel. I
think because when you look at something like that, for me, Rice as your captain and Tierney as your vice.
That's it. That's what I said to him all along. And I've noticed now on games, even though to me, Odegaard is our captain, but he's not captain material for me.
Nah.
And I always see it when I watch it, is Rice. He's communicating with the midfield. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then and there's communication between Gabriel and Saliba as well. And I've noticed as well, with Gabriel and Saliba, it takes me back to the old days of Adams and Bolt now, because we've started scoring from set pieces now, and is Gabriel that's scoring the goals from set pieces. Them two. Saliba scored a couple, but my man Gabriel, I don't know if it's something that they've learned on when they were in Dubai, whether it's been on the training pitch as well on the field. They're learning the set pieces. But at the minute, I'm just liking what I'm seeing, Tone, and I'm just enjoying it at the minute. So
I think you've got to,
I'm
haven't
in
you?
the good. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think you've got to. You're in the good,
yeah,
as you said. Yeah, as you can see on the thumbnail, mate. You're in the good. I think the only kind of problem there is, like last season, that carrot was dangled in front and then whipped away at the
yeah,
last knockings.
yeah.
And I think to see if history repeats itself, that won't be a good thing. So, I mean, obviously, Game Killer saying the Arsenal-Chelsea game will now be postponed because obviously be Chelsea versus Leicester in the FA Cup that weekend.
Yeah, that's right. So, in all fairness, do you know what? I don't mind that because when the games are being played, you know the results of like obviously the other games being played, and you feel if it does go in your favour, if one of them loses or draws, you know you've got that game in hand.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
But you've been there before, mate. You've been
Yes,
there
we
before.
have been there before, and it didn't pay off. I feel that obviously because that's the Chelsea game. He's on about the Arsenal and
Yeah,
Chelsea game.
yeah.
I feel this season. I feel we're going to beat Chelsea anyway. The way they are. I think they're poor. They're dire. All I can see Chelsea finishing is literally smack bang on mid-table. 10th.
No,
That's it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Evening, Rosie. Just popped in the show. Support guys. Rangers came on. Game on and bum his Twitch like a rabbit's nose 10 minutes ago. Also, Rosie, sub to your channel as well. So you've got an extra sub on there. Chelsea versus Leeds, nothing between them and stats back it up too. Only $1 billion spent the difference at the moment, anyway. Yeah, that's true. And she's saying sub and likes these guys, please. I mean, one thing, like I said, unfortunately, I missed our game on Monday. I saw the highlights, and we looked good against Brentford. We did look good, and I don't know if you agree with that, but they say a player doesn't make a team, but Paqueta does, and we saw that. The outpouring of him being back in the team. Even Bowen said, what was the kind of the reason behind tonight's performance, and he said Paqueta.
Yeah, it was. He played fantastic, but Tim, I got to give your man a praise, Bowen, for that hat trick. Honestly, you know me with Bowen. You know my thoughts on Bowen.
Yeah.
Me and Jed was chatting about it last night, and we both want him at Arsenal. To be honest with you, and I didn't realise he's actually in his prime. He's about 27, Bowen, something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel you don't want these. Trouble is though, you've got good players, and you have, and I always said it's your midfield.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny to you. To me, you've got nothing up attack, and also the people talking about Antonio coming back. I mean, I feel Antonio now. I feel it'd be better if West Ham got rid of him and got in another striker to replace him. The only reason why I'm saying that is because he doesn't really score many goals now, does he? And so I know he's injured, but he doesn't really score many goals. But I feel if you've got a player in there, somebody averagely that can, I think what's West Ham looking for? Maybe something like even if somebody can get you 16, 18 goals a season, they're around about that can gel in the team quite quickly. I think
we definitely need that. Yeah, we definitely need that. I mean, obviously, just seeing Fuzzy's reaction there. Lucky goal, man. They won it. So, yeah, I mean, there's a late goal there, 88th minute, and Casemiro's just beaten the defender to that and knocked it past.
Yeah, run from deep. The funny thing is that he's where he's holding his head. It's like I think it's where he had his head clash.
Yeah.
Came off with a head injury in the last game, and he's just like, I scored a goal, but bloody hell, that hurt.
Wincing like nobody's business.
Well, play, Fuzzy. That was a shit goal, but it all counts.
Any goals to go.
Yeah, that's anyway. That was my scene back in the day.
Exactly. Yeah. How are we doing, Lawrence? Keep it well. Good evening from Lexington, Kentucky, USA. Coming your eyes. Yes, indeed, mate. I hope you're keeping well. Good to see you on here as well. 1-0. Yeah, in the mud. He must be cursing right now. Probably is Casemiro. Roll the links in the description of my channel. Brilliant. Thank you very much for that, Rosie.
Thank you, Rosie. Her team is I think
Ooh.
they're playing Kilmarnock
Oh.
Rangers, I think, is it? They're winning 2-1.
Finish
But
2-1.
He's on
Oh,
Celtic,
Is he onside
Celtic
or is he offside? Sorry,
almost in.
Anthony.
He's
There's VAR
on-
going.
He's
Oh,
onside
hang on.
from that. He's onside from that.
Could
The
be
player in front of him there. His
No, he's
arm
off.
is-
He's
his
off.
arm
It hasn't
there.
been given. It hasn't been given. Hasn't been given, so it's 0-0. So yeah, yeah, he'd be happy with that.
Well, from there, he looks like he's actually onside.
Mm.
Because it looks like the Forest player's shoulders from here look slightly further ahead from where Casemiro's is, because he's more facing forwards towards the goal.
Yeah,
It's just whether his head's actually onside. To be fair, from that.
Yeah, we'll just watch this bit, see what's going to the decision is in that. We'll come back to the West Ham comments and that we're talking about that part. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, they're still kind of thinking.
It's from the angle, right, that they're looking from the back, where it's the Forest player's back facing towards the camera with Casemiro just on the inside. That from that angle, it looks like he's actually significantly onside, but it's the reverse angles.
No, it looks like the goal stands
as to being in line.
He's bleeding.
He's got
gas on his head.
Yeah, goal's been given.
Yeah, goal been given. It's a great meltdown for VAR does us a favour. Liverpool 2-0. So yeah, it just shows you.
He's winning it with kids.
And he's given.
Bastards.
No, it's fine. I mean, going back to our game. Bowen been in the right places, and all great goals basically. The first goal especially, beating the keeper at the near post. Nice curve of the ball there, and getting a bit from that point there. I mean, obviously, Brentford was trying to say that there was a push from Alvarez on the player. Okay, we've seen them given in certain games. And of course, the second goal, again, it was good to see the link-up play there, and kudos, again, being involved in the action. And obviously in the third goal with, again, floating the ball in, and Brentford, I think they had 5 in defence, and Bowen's unmarked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great to see that, and as I said, he's the first hammer to get a hat trick, I think it is, in the Prem. So
definitely, yeah.
And then Emerson.
Yeah.
Emerson, and quite humble with a celebration as well when you think about it, for the great strike that he gives. But yeah, our first win of the season for 2024.
It's been that long, is it, Tim?
Apparently so.
It's like the opposite. Your first win of 2024. Fulham game was our first loss of 2024.
Yeah.
Undefeated.
Getting ugly.
Just for that alone.
Yeah.
It is. First win of 2024. But yeah, we're going in. It'd be March Friday.
I know, exactly.
What I want to say to you two lads is just a question, and you could both. I don't know. I don't care who goes first. That is to do with the West Ham and Brentford game, but it's not just that game. It's the Brentford games before that. I've noticed now, since Ivan Toney has been back playing for Brentford, he's not the same player. This is my opinion. I feel he's not the same player. He scored 1 or 2 goals, but I got to be honest with you, it's like parts of the game when you're watching it, it's like he's giving out that, he's sending out that vibe of like, I don't really want to be here now. I seriously, I want to be gone now. I want to go at the end of the season. But the trouble is, though, I've noticed when he's like that, he's ruining himself.
Yeah.
But with him not performing, it feels like to me, the money what Brentford would want for him at the end of the season, if he's not performing, would that affect his value for going to another team next season? Any one of you can, if you disagree with me, you could disagree. It's whatever. I just want to get that out there because this is what I've been noticing.
I think with
Fuzzy go first.
I think with Ivan Toney, I suppose if we want to talk that sort of scenario into existence would probably be based off of, as a player, where you get linked to other clubs that your moves that you as a player really want to make as to further your career or to step up another level in your career. I think when you're sort of seeing all of those links going on, it's just like, well, I'm pretty much feel like I'm already sold, because everyone's just like, yeah, Ivan Toney's the striker that everyone out right now is going to be fighting over. So you almost feel like perhaps you've already made the move. It's just when you get to the transfer window and the offers come on the table, you just pick and choose which one you want to go for. Either that, or as I think I said on the preview with Yeti about players that, as far as like inflated price tags go, that two things can happen. Is that the bigger clubs that usually buy from these other Prem clubs for these players will go look elsewhere because the prices are just ridiculous.
Agreed.
Those players stay at those clubs. They want to make those moves, but they can't because their clubs have priced them out. They then start to stagnate and lose that sort of edge that they had, or the prospect element to them as a player. Then the interest goes, and then the career sort of washes up a little bit. And to me, I feel like Tony is unfortunately at a club where he's made. I think the whole scenario for Tony's unfortunate. That where you. I think in a sense unfortunate, or whether that's just like on him, is partially both. I suppose first and foremost, being priced out of moves is one thing. Of course, with his ban, his suspension, taking that much time out of football sort of killed a lot of momentum going for him in playing actively. So I think that's probably drawn a cloud of judgment over actually like clubs biting the bullet and signing the player, because I know fans still would say Ivan Toney's still Ivan Toney, we'll definitely sign him. But I think having that ban that he's served, I think it's maybe switched one or two clubs that would have paid the extra big bucks to sign him, might have turned them off of the idea of signing Ivan Toney. But he himself has now got to find a way to either warrant the excessive price tag that Brentford have unfortunately for Ivan Toney stuck on his head, or he just goes along with what he does, and if he stagnates, then you can sit and hope that way that Brentford lower their price tag, but by which maybe he's done too much damage to his own career by dropping that level, and ultimately then not drawing the interest for the bigger clubs that he wants to move to.
Yeah, I agree with most of the comments there, because I think, like everything else, the club will want to recoup money back on the player for one. Secondly, they're going to look for the most money they can. But full well, some of these players try and force these moves. And if he is going down that route, the biggest problem you've got there is the fact that it can work in both ways. Either the club bends and says, okay, you're getting so problematic, the best thing to do is cut our losses, ship the player out, take the money. But at the same point, a club would also turn around and said, okay, if you want to go down that route, we can play hardball as well. Reserves, until the player has to bow and realise, I'm not getting my move, and now I've got to do something. And then that's when it becomes untenable if you're not too careful. So Tony's got to kind of box clever, because at the end of the day, the only one that really kind of is going to benefit out of it is going to be the club. And if you look at it, excuse me, as much as you guys want him at Arsenal, if he's going down that route, do you want to play like that at your club?
No.
That's the problem.
Hello. Forest player had Fernandes in a chokehold there. Felipe.
I'll be honest with you, I'm 50-50 whether I want Tony at Arsenal. That's my opinion. And I said
get sent off.
Interesting. No, exactly. And that's the thing myself, So I'm going to come back to that, but I want to come back to this part, because obviously Lawrence has put a great comment here. I mean, and we mentioned about this for West Ham's fortunes on Monday is the fact that all our players got better when Paqueta were on the pitch. Team plays better, passing and setting up plays. We look more clinical. We weren't just kicking the ball up the pitch, which we have done previously. And like I said, one player doesn't make a team, but Paqueta does. It rubbed off on the whole team. Yet Man United won that 1-0. That's how the score's finished up. So
Stinky 1-0.
Stinky, but you'll take that. You'll take that. We have missed Paqueta. When he got injured, straight away. Obviously, we was hoping that he was going to come back in the previous 2 games, but the main thing is if you look, he's now back. He looked pretty decent, so the fitness program has done really well, and it does. It rubs off. Look at you guys. When Rice got injured, it was all kind of, hold on, we've lost our key midfield player, and it's the same with Paqueta. Alvarez looks better on the ball. Bowen is now kind of released where he should be. Kudos obviously played out on the left. They switched, which is good to see as well for my liking. I like that, right? Becoming too predictable. So, it was good. And plus the facts, all right, you could say that Brentford's on a bit of a downhill thing, but not being funny, Anthony, when you think about your games, the teams you've won when you've got basically 5 goals in most, is the fact that, like everything else, it's come at the right time for you guys. And hopefully for us, with Paqueta coming back, it's the right time for us when we needed it most. Especially with, now we've got Frelberg in the draw now for the Europa League. So him coming back is great for us in that respect.
Yeah, he's like a massive piece taking out the centre. You know what I mean with him, that big piece of puzzle.
Yeah,
that can't complete the whole thing. So I like Paqueta. I think he's fantastic. The job he's done for you. He's he has scored a few goals this season as well. I'm not going to lie, but obviously without him in your team, it was a major blow. It's a major loss. But now he's in. I can see now for West Ham team. I can sort of see you spiraling up. It might be a slow spiral, but it's going up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That spiral's gone down, and I think it just gradually start going up now, and that's it. Yeah. But we talk about with Arsenal being on recent form, got to win most of all your games. I think that applies pretty much to all 3 of our teams, but mainly for us. But I think with West Ham, I feel you're going to be finishing in a comfortable position. I feel that you'll finish around about maybe a place above where you are now, 7th. So that's still Europe. That's your aim. That and in fairness, that is good for West Ham. Buzz, blimey, I think your team is. I think there's something. There's quite a few things missing in your team. I'm not saying it to be nasty. Maybe their pre-match meal or just before they go on the pitch, I think they should have a fuzzy shake. Your chocolate stuff before they get on that pitch. I think they'll start scoring. Especially give two of them to McTominay. You'll see him coming on leaps and bounds. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So.
I agree with Lawrence's comment here. Tony only showed up on it in extra time on Monday. His quality, but maybe his effort. What I saw from the highlights for the goal that Malpo scored, he was out wide out on the right.
Yeah,
and that's your striker. So
what's he doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Dan scored Liverpool's 2nd goal. So apparently this kid is 16 years old. Wow. So, definitely wow.
There you go.
Lawrence is asking, how much will the team pay for Tony? I say 70, 80 million. I think we believe Brentford will probably try and go for the 100 million mark, if not more.
Yeah. Depending on his performance, it's like what Tony said, because Tony hit the nail on the head. Depending on how his not just what his performance is, but it's his attitude towards the game, his attitude towards the players, and also the manager as well.
Yeah.
But mainly the manager, because it's like what we said, they can actually turn around and say, right, well, in that case, then you want to be like that. This is what we could do. We could do A, B, and C. And you don't want to go down that road. So it all depends on Ivan Toney. He's the one. He's the only one that can do it if he wants to go to a better team.
Arsenal might say, I don't want to push my luck and be kicked out of this channel. Never, mate. Don't worry about that. We'll be up in the ceiling us bowing. No, mate, not at all. You've got to realise when you got, when your father-in-law's Danny Dyer, you got no chance or any say at all in that respect. Danny Dyer tells you what it is.
I personally think he could beat up Danny Dyer and just take a move to Arsenal. That's what I think.
I mean, Lawrence is he's hitting the nail on the head again. Bowen is going nowhere. Signed to 2027, and he plays for the badge, and he definitely does.
Yeah,
definitely does. Both of us hello to each other. Arsenal. So obviously, always Arsenal have a long break in March now. Chelsea have won tonight, so Arsenal go back to Dubai.
yes.
3-0 Liverpool. So they're getting on there.
Hands again.
Yeah. Watch us do a City on it and win until the end of the season. That would be nice. That would be nice to see that. I mean, the funny part, I bet, looking at Brentford's 2 goals, the only thing I could say in that, as much as Areola's kept us in quite a few games or kept the scoreline down, I think the 2 goals that Brentford scored, for me, again, he should have been positioned a lot better. I think he could have saved both of those goals, especially the second one. He was well, And you imagine if Arsenal won the league title at Tottenham Stadium or Old Trafford, that would be hilarious.
Oh, it would be, mate. I would love that. That'd be absolutely fantastic. That'd be. Oh, I don't know what that could be. That could be like. Oh, it'd be like a fantasy and a wet dream rolled into one. That's what I can say.
Evening Pepsi Pack, he's saying Man United out the next round.
That's probably.
Yeah.
Well, if Liverpool's not even C team, their D team, their Z team, literally, they went to the local college, picked up a load, literally just a school bus for the kids there, took a couple of their first teamers, and then piped Southampton 3-0 with them.
Yeah.
But did you know what? Your best bet is if you want to knock Liverpool away, and it most probably go to the wire of that game, because Liverpool and Man United, there's no such rivalry in football between them two. There's loads of it. So all I'm saying is, that game could go into I think because they're doing the replays now. I think that might go into a penalty shootout between Man United and Liverpool. I'm not being funny, but you play Manchester United. I've noticed you play better against the top 6-7 teams. You do. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you all, I'm not saying you've got to all out, but I'm just saying if it looks like it's going towards penalties, I would favour Man United. I will favour Man United for penalties.
Funny, Anthony, when you're saying that, I mean, it's like the typical Sunday team. You know, you play the top of the table teams, and that you play the best. You play the lower league teams in the division. You play exactly like them, kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know, and that's, I think that's Man United on the head, really. I mean, I'm just going to go on this comment because I agree with this wholeheartedly. Happy Amaret, Zuma is our weakest link. Poor chap is less mobile than my one-legged nan. And yeah, he hasn't got the legs, you know. And actually, we can jokingly say he may be kicking in too many cats, but Zuma, yeah, his legs are gone, absolutely gone. Daniel is actually obviously imagine if Arsenal also lost the title at Tottenham's new ground. That'd even be more great if you want to play that game.
Or is it at Old Trafford?
Absolutely, any of those two.
I don't want to lose 20 of those two. Don't want to lose. No.
Zuma needed to be removed from the pitch, killing us on defence, no mobility, and a major weakness in their centre backs. And it's true. You know, mind might have it, but legs are way gone, completely gone.
How old is he?
God, Zuma now I think he's 28, I do believe. So
I mean, bloody hell, he's still in his peak. If saying that for a guy that's in his peak,
supposed to be. I mean, when you look at the second goal, the 1 minute he was with the player, and the next minute he was he was known to be found at that point. Let's see, where is he now? What's his age? 29. He's 29.
bloody hell.
So he's basically he's actually gone. He's budgie uncaged tonight. Yeah, he's turning into Anthony in there. Look, he's got the eyebrows to go with it as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The last week when we had Budgie on, I looked at the thumbnail and I was just like, "Oh my god, Anthony, if you had a makeover." But Budgie was just like,
I'm sorry, Fudge. How much I like Budgie because I've been on a couple of streams with him now. Budgie, that he sounds like it's like Ray Winston. You know the way how Ray Winston talks.
Yeah.
He goes like, "What fucking hell's going on here?" Like, do you know what I mean?
That's superb. Let's see, Rosie's saying all is well, still top of the table despite Celtic's 7-1 game against Dundee.
That was what I was going to say. Yeah, 7-1 Celtic.
yeah. Now Dundee.
I haven't Rosie, but I will after this show finishes. I will press the like now on this tablet.
Scott saying Zuma has legs like Tyson Fury. Wow.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So basically, United stand Twitter account of Screen Catch and Bruno Fernandes being literally choke held by Felipe. Nothing was given, by the way. Of course, Casemiro gets sent off for pretty much less than that. But Specsavers then replied to it, and they've added WWE. It's like, what's this technique called, guys?
Yeah.
Can you give us an insight on what this wrestling move is? I swear we've seen it before. I swear a certain fiery demon character and a dead man did that in WWE in the prime years.
That's very true. That's very true.
I would have liked to see a choke slam, though, to be fair.
Big up DJ Crane. How we doing, Tony? Can't believe Varchester pulled it off. Yes, they like doing it, mate. They like getting in on the end, as always.
True. Barchester, I like that.
I feel for Zuma, to be honest. He doesn't pick himself. He doesn't Happy Emirate. He definitely does that. That's for sure.
Royal.
I mean, again, I think that's. I mean, for West Ham's point of view, yeah. I mean, like what you said, Anthony. Yeah, we need a striker for one. I mean, I'm hoping that it's hard because you've got to think you got Bowen and you got Kudos. They're both right-sided players, so they've got to play. I mean, playing them both. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good to see them switch, but yeah, we still need a left wing in that respects.
I was just about to say that soon next season. If you can get a striker and a decent winger in, I feel that. Just those two signings, I feel that you could be a threat next season. I really do. But you'd be lurking around between the Europa League. But listen, I mean, with West Ham, if you're finishing up in that top half, that like Europa League spot, as a West Ham fan, wouldn't you be happy with that? Because I know I would, compared to like how West Ham was years ago.
Well, look at last season; we was 14th.
Yeah.
So it's already it's an improvement. But of course, I mean, obviously, when Paqueta got injured, from that point onwards, from being 6, then dropping down 3 places to 9th. All right, we've clawed up a place. Even still, I mean, we need that, and I think we also need to still need someone at the back, centre back as well. Well deserved Choco Milk Fuzzmeister. We definitely need, we need to do that as well.
Celebratory Bourbon.
He's celebratory Bourbon. We play all 3 of yous in a title race. City and Arsenal both have to go to Tottenham's place, and both have awful records there. That's true. That is true. Give us a wave. Right, I predicted 2-1 Rangers, but City will be a difficult game. Plastic pitch, we were 1-0 down at half time. So yeah, good result. Good result for you guys. So yeah, sorry, Rose, my second choice team. But, I mean, what's your next game? You got Fuzzy coming up, Man United. What's their next game?
Manchester City.
Brilliant, Lawrence. Good to hear that.
On Sunday. And Haaland and De Bruyne have got their warm-ups done.
In all fairness, are you doing a watch along, or have you got work on that day?
I've got work all weekend.
Oh, blimey, it's a
Saturday
shame,
and
man.
Sunday.
Yeah. What time's that kick-off? Is it at 4?
3:30, strangely enough.
3:30.
Yeah, I think because the first game, Burnley-Bournemouth, kicks off at 1. Usually is all an hour later, but for some reason this one's now.
That's a
earlier.
weird time for a Sunday, isn't it? At 3. Yeah.
It just seems that's what they're doing, though. You know, they tend to do it all over the place.
Yeah.
What else have we got in here? So Hendon Goon is coming. Big up Hendon Goon, and thanks for subscribing as well. Good evening, Tony, Anthony, Hotfuzz, and all in the chat watching. Just come over from Yeti's watch along. Forest failed to finish their dinner. I got punished with a sucker punch set piece goal. Yeah, they did indeed. Yeah, I mean, obviously, can't be an happy one for Yeti there. Arsenal's next game, Anthony.
Arsenal's next game, we've got Sheffield United.
Ooh.
So we're looking forward to that.
Away or at home?
I think it's at home. Somebody's going to correct me. Somebody is definitely going to correct me in the chat. I think
Sheffield United away.
Sheffield United away. Sorry, it's Sheffield United away. But I still think, even though with away, Tone, our away form hasn't been that bad in all fairness for this season. So I feel that I'm comfortable. If I was to give a prediction in that game, so you know what, I'm going to go for a 5-0 comfortable win against Sheffield United. Really, I am.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Happy Emirates saying we want to have no cover for left back or right back in the summer. Not to mention the centre back, striker, and left wing. Yeah, just a few people we need to bring in. That's for sure. And of course, we are away to Everton.
Oh yes, yeah, you are. Yeah. Do you know what? This is what I like about your team, Tim, because I've got Bowen in my fantasy football team. I had him scoring that hat trick. He got me 20 points.
Nice.
And I was third before that game started. And now I had those 20 points. Boom, I'm straight up top of the table in the fantasy. So that guy, I love Bowen. I think he's great. And do you know what? I would love him at Arsenal, to tell you the truth. But if not, I wouldn't. If he doesn't come to Arsenal don't approach him. I just hope he stays with you guys, because you know I feel that he can do something there and improve your team. Obviously, it's nice to know with the players that you've brought in that are very good players. Plus, you got a couple of more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's trying to find the right players, you know, because you've got about, what would you say, Tim? Would you say you've got what would you say best players? Would you say about 5 or 6 decent good players at West Ham in the minute?
Yeah, definitely.
And try and build that team around you. Your goalkeeper is good, but try and build a team right now. Maybe 1 or 2 defenders, a left winger, definitely a striker.
Yeah.
So you really next season, I think West Ham should go out, get four decent players in there. You know, average, decent, good players, and I feel West Ham could be a good threat for next season.
I think so. I mean, I was just going to say, so after Arsenal play Brentford, they don't have another Premier League match till the end of March, which is the Man City match. So it's interesting. I mean, for us, Anthony, the pleasing thing for us is Tim Stetson, you know, has organised getting these players signed for West Ham. There was interest from Liverpool. Apparently, that's completely cooled off, and it was never going to be happening anyway. So that's great news for us, because he's you know, the miracles he's pulled off in getting them players, especially kudos when you think Hughes also interested in him as well, and what we paid for him. I'll take that all day long. Sheffield United all day. Will Eddie score versus Sheffield?
Will Eddie score versus? No, I don't think he will. I mean, he scored an hat trick against Sheffield United beginning part of this season, and that's the only goals he has got this season. But no, I don't think he'll play. I'm glad that he is basically it's 3 players that's keeping him out. Is Jesus, Havertz, and Trossard. In all fairness, is those 3 that's keeping Eddie out the team, which I think personally is a good thing.
Yeah. Long may it continue.
Long may it continue. Tone and Hammer it. You know, listen, Eddie Nketiah is an option for West Ham for next season.
So Scott McTominay.
Where's that delete button? Where's it? How to get rid of the fucker? Hello, Anthony. What's your prediction for that game early? I think it's going to be a close game with Everton. Now, obviously, as well, when you think about it, that Everton have had their points. He's gone. He's gone already. I didn't do it. It wasn't me, Anthony. It wasn't me. When you think that Everton have now had their points reduced from 10 to 6 points, that must be a massive lift because they've now moved up to 15th in the table as well because of that. I mean, I think it's going to be a hard game. I predict, for me, probably 1-0. We'll win it. We can win it 1-0. I mean, what do you guys think on that one?
I went 1-all thing. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know what it is. I feel Everton. They're good. They're good. They got like a reasonable, solid defense.
They're the players. They're your players.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I'll even add on to that one as well. Emerson.
Yeah, definitely. And I just feel that Everton. They got. I mean, Pickford is. He's had a good season this season, Pickford, and the only reason being I know that is because on the fact he's a Premier League team, he's top. He's voted the best keeper in there, and he's in the top position. So that's what I always say. Hotfuzz, you're a prick. I said that on the show, didn't I? If Man United win, it's Fuzzy a prick, and he's done it. But yeah, I thought they got a good defence, and a good goalkeeper. They just lack up front. That's all it is with Everton. They lack up front.
Yeah, definitely do. So we're going to Fantasy League. Rosie's saying, was listening to a stream a couple of days ago, and Arsenal fans said they're elite and could take on Real Madrid with ease.
Oh, I'm not too sure about it. It's Champions League. If we beat Porto and we draw against, Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, then I can't see Arsenal doing anything there because number one, we got a thin squad, and number two, it is proved that with a good team like ours, we struggle in European competition. Arsenal always have. I don't know why. Maybe it's a mentality thing of when we go out onto the pitch. That's all I can think of, Tim.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a good comment about Herbert said as well. Emerson is class with his Brazilian teammates. Is linking up with him too quiet on his own. Yeah, that's a fair comment, I'd say, on that. But yeah, he's not done bad since he's put himself in that position. I mean, obviously he's kept Cresswell out. That's for sure. In the same Rosie, sadly, Arsenal is infected with a deluded and ignorant fan base. One mutant TV contributor claimed Arsenal don't need a striker like Haaland. Wow.
Yeah. You know what? I heard this before, and I don't want to say his name, but we can guess who the Arsenal Mikel Arteta lover is. You know that sort of thing. You know the guy, Tim.
Yeah,
I didn't see his name.
No. We all know who that one is. That's for sure.
Yeah. I was going to mention the Porto game, but I said nothing. Nah, that's all right, Rosie. That's all right. Hopefully, we might win. We might beat them.
No, jumping out a little bit. If Arsenal go through and draw Real Madrid, queue up Ice Cube, no Vaseline. He's saying don't answer the door, Fuzz.
Don't need to. There's a red dot. There's a little red laser that's pointing around, trying to find where my head is. Someone's lurking in the trees. Assassination's about to happen.
I'll tell you something. Most houses got one ring a bell. Fuzz has got 6. So you've got no chance.
You get feeling like all teams, unfortunately. Yeah, you do indeed. You do indeed. This is put a bag of poo through the letterbox.
He's not going to set it like he's going to stamp on it, is he? Today.
Yeah, that's knocked down ginger with a twist. That is.
Yeah.
Not saying I condone that kind of type of thing because it never happened, but yeah.
Oh.
I didn't do Will It Rangers. Cough, cough.
That's it. I did well at Rangers. Yeah, I know.
Rosie
He
needs
did
to do
well.
Rangers
Everton.
reaction videos. Yep, she does indeed. We'll get her doing it. I think at some point, if Rosie's plucks up the courage, I'm sure she will. And very true, Rosie. And sadly, Mutant TV gives them a platform to spat their bollocks. That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah. Just a question, but with Rosie, obviously, because she's a Rangers fan and being Scottish. Early doors, Fuzz. What the main two teams. I'll tell you something now. The main two teams is obviously Rangers and Celtic. Obviously, winning the Scottish. The next one from that down is Aberdeen. They've only won 4 Scottish Premier League titles. That's all they've won, and the rest has been between Rangers and Celtic. Out of the two, Rangers and Celtic, who do you prefer? It's your own opinion. Is who you think. At the end of the day, who do you think's got the better team, and who would you prefer?
That's what a better team goes. I think Celtic are probably more set up to be more successful. I don't know. It's a bit back and forth. If I would say that one just hips it to the other, I'll probably say Celtic.
How about yours, Tim?
Yeah, it's an hard one, can it? Because when you think they've both got a bit of an arrogance about each other, haven't they? Really, when you think both teams.
And Celtic are disgusting because they share the same song as Liverpool do.
Yes, yeah. I suppose for the heritage, and that, I suppose in certain respects, I suppose it is Rangers, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Same here, Rosie. Rangers. So we got 2 Rangers and one Celtic. Yeah. Oh, she's gunning for you now. She's gonna gun for you now in these comments.
At least I made up for it by saying that Celtic have disgusting songs. So.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, look at the referee we got for Saturday. Paulson. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
You spelled Paulson wrong.
No. We'll leave it like that. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll leave it like that. Yeah.
Poor his way with his decision making that he does.
Is that the one? That's the one with the poor? But is that the ref that likes his cards?
I think it is actually. Yeah, remember? Yeah.
It's always constantly yellow cards over something stupid and pathetic.
Lawrence, thanks for coming on, matey. Have to run. Good chat, mates. Catch you next time. Come on, you irons. Absolutely, mate. As they say, come on, you irons. And obviously, Rosie Tottenham and Rangers, Hibs, and see you later, Larry. Right, guys, we're now coming at 1:37, 1 hour and 37 minutes. That's gone by again pretty quickly. And as always, we're getting to that near the end of the show and that. So, Anthony, if you'd like to share your channels, please, matey.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You can find me on Football United TV, or I host a show called Gunners from All Corners. This Thursday, I've got a couple of guests on there. This Thursday is going to be me. It's going to be who Gunner? What's his name? Josh, aka Mikel Arteta, and also the main man himself, Jez Collins. That's going to be this Thursday at 9 o'clock. Also, I'm going to be doing the show, the Premier League Weekend Show, where we're going to be talking all things Premier League, and we're going to do a predictions at the end of the show. I'm looking for someone to obviously come on that, so I'll just buzz around and see who's around, whoever wants to come on the show. So,
brilliant. Evening, Budgie. Glad you finally come in after all this. Oh, damn, I missed this. Hit the like button, please, peeps.
Budgie.
Rangers Clement now, who's worked wonders. We're to build ourselves up again. I'm yet to pick an English team. Well, you know that one I come for, Rosie, didn't you? You know, that's the one. You come for that team. That's the one you're going to support. An English team.
No, you want the one with the big cannon.
Don't listen to what he said. Don't worry about that anyway.
Big cannon.
Yeah, we've got hammers, mate. We'll smash your cannon to pieces. Fuzzy, you like to shout your channel out, please, mate. How do you put those scrawny arms away, bro?
Next show, he's going to be in a tank top. It become more insufferable with every passing week.
Yeah. You won't be able to see his face, Fuzzy, and that the amount of the eyebrows he's going to have on his face.
Be built like Popeye. Popeye joins us on the stream next week. just cans of spinach just cluttered up in the background. But yeah, man, you can find me Hotfuzz44 OG on the YouTube and Instagram. Got to do my match reaction as soon as we're done here, so I'll be rushing off to do that, get that sorted out, and an early night for me tonight. Got work tomorrow, early start and all. So yeah, it's been a good show, and thankfully be able to sort of two-time it whilst watching United. I mean, watching United whilst doing this show has actually made watching United much more bearable, because I've got a show to interact with people and discuss things. So yeah, it's actually made it a lot more entertaining, and thankfully a win's a win through to the next round up against Liverpool at Old Trafford. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Going to be very, very interesting. But I'll happily bear the King Prick crown, knighted by Sir Long-Haired Yeti.
Absolutely. We've got to sort out.
Hang on, so I can't make a note of that. 1 hour 40, Fuzzy said prick. There we go.
I've dropped a few fucking F-bombs in the stream as well. But
I gotta write that down in 1 minute.
I mean, yeah, you say, Anthony, we've got to sort out to do the weakest prick show, Anthony. We'll have to have a chat.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we've arranged that. So we're going to do something there. It's going to be good, honestly.
Maybe we should do that on like a big community stream where we just do the weakest link, but it's the weakest prick.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. You are the weakest prick. Goodbye.
We need someone to quiz master though. Somebody that won't mind wearing an Anne Robertson wig. That'd be
good.
Donna Cullen.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Donna Cullen. Donna Cullen. Get her to do.
What was it said? What was said, Tim? What was said?
Oh, right. You want to know? It's just,
yeah. If you know, you know.
You know, yeah, exactly. Cheers, pedal and check. Give the like a tickle as you leave, peeps. Rosie's also saying, sub and like the videos, please. Our own fault tonight. Should have done you in the first half. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'll catch up later, Tony. No worries, Budgie. Indeed. Thanks for coming on, mate. Even that, it's good to see you anyway. Have a good night, Budgie. See you soon, Smuggler. Yeah, Budgie's going to be on with Kieran soon in about about 15 minutes time on his channel. So it'll be good to see you guys on there. We're on Hotfuzz, a much deserved win. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, he's got the actual referee. Jez will wear a wig. It reminded him when he had hair.
Yeah, that'd be good. He's a question master. You come on, go. You are the weakest breed.
Oh, mate.
Oh, yeah. God.
So thanks, Rosie and Anthony. Here's Vanilla Ice. Wow.
Ice baby. Do you want me to sing it? No, I'm joking.
Vanilla Ice, the later years. Yeah, that's what we've got.
Yeah, the later years. All right, stop.
Yep, on West Ham Network channel, we know Budgie. Yeah, West Ham Network, that's where Budgie and Kieran are going to be on with Old School Hammers. So it'd be good to see them two on there as well. Yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks very much, you two. As always, been a pleasure. An hour and coming up in the nearly 43 minutes. It's been great. It's been a good show, and that deserves lots of have a word. That's true. The later years, absolutely. Guys, again, people in the chat, thanks for coming in and that. And while you're on here, don't forget to smash a like to people like Budgie on the West Ham Network channel, and obviously for Long-Haired Yeti's Cave as well. Great content from that fella. So make sure you hit a like for that guy as well, and obviously subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, as always, thanks so much again for coming on, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care for now. Ciao, ciao.